New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the Drink Desk and Steve Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast babies. And not just because they're delicious and stay crunchy in milk, but because for whatever reason, in spite of what Mike Hawk just tried to tell us, babies, they just love to torment their loving, caring, doting mothers. The goo-goos, the gagas, the who's my little guy, and scratch their chest. And then 9 times out of 10, it seems to me that the first words out of the baby's mouth are not mama, but it is, in fact, dada. Now, for whatever reason, this really drives women crazy. But one mother was out to put an end to this vicious cycle by singing a very sweet, self-made lullaby to her child. Take a listen.
Can you say mama, mama? Can you say mama's name?
Dada, that's right. Yeah. Dada. Try as hard as you want. That was all dad time right there, friend.
Take the wins when you can.
That's right. I'm toasting that kid. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Steve Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Patrick, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have bite me.
I got to redeem myself from yesterday. We got to go inside. I lost on the baby shoe.
Ah.
So you're not a returning champion?
No.
All right, here is your story. We go to India for this one, where doctors are warning about a peculiar hazard. In a new case study, they detail having to remove something from a patient's rectum. Now, it's an injury made even more potentially dangerous due to the risk of fire or explosion should the object be removed using anything that would cauterize it or any energy device. But according to the authors of this particular paper, finding this object inside a patient's rectum is especially rare. The discovery was apparently enough to compel them to issue a warning to others about the possible risks that could come with this particular kind of rectal object, as they say. Now, according to the paper, it's not clear why this object ended up inside the person's body. The 21-year-old patient arrived at an emergency room suffering from abdominal pain, and he told doctors that the object was inserted into his rectum a day earlier, quote-unquote, by 2 unknown people while he was under the influence of alcohol. But he couldn't provide any other details.
Well, I had that night.
But hey, whatever. The surgery ended up being a success. The guy ended up not exploding. So the question is, what did he put up his backside? Was it a Bic lighter, Axe body spray, hairspray, or the air compressor air horn? So a Bic lighter, Axe body spray, hairspray, or the air compressed air horn.
Did you say where this was?
It's in India.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if it was New Jersey, I'd go with Axe. What are Ted and Miles thinking?
I don't know. That one's kind of tough. And he said somebody put it up there while he was passed out drunk.
That's the story. It could be true, might not be.
Did you say his age?
21.
I'm going to go Bic lighter there, Patrick.
I think I'm going to go, based on the age, I'm going to go Axe body spray.
Axe body spray for Ted.
I'm going with Miles. Let's go Bic lighter.
Okay. That sounds like fun. We're going to find out what this guy got stuck in his arse. Was it a Bic lighter, Axe body spray, hairspray, or an air horn next?
That was a tease.
Ann Wilson of Hart is coming to the Washington State Fair Friday, September 2nd. Tickets go on sale starting Saturday at 10 a.m. at thefair.com. But of course, you can win tickets to the show and see it for free. Just visit the contest page at KISW.com and enter for your chance. Brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs.
What's up, Seattle? Do you know what goes great with a specialty coffee on a rainy day? Thomas's English Muffins. Famous for their nooks and crannies texture and sure to warm up your mornings. Grab a pack today and wake up to what's possible with Thomas's.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: interior decorating and profile. This doctors in India had to remove something from a patient's rectum that might actually explode. So it's kind of a delicate procedure. The man says that 2 unknown people put it in there the day before.
Yeah, my left hand and my right hand, yes.
Question is, was it a Bic lighter, Axe body spray, hairspray, or an air horn?
And Patrick, that is the question we posed to you. Like you said, you wanted to redeem yourself from your failure yesterday, and you went with the Bic lighter. Sorry. Yeah. No redemption for you. Ted, you went with the Axe body spray, so based on the fact he's 21, right?
Correct. I had a ton of it when I was that age.
You are correct, sir.
Man, oh, man.
Axe body spray.
Nice work. Now for all TV news all the time, time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
So earlier we were talking about, somebody said they don't watch a lot of TV as there's nothing on. And I was like, I just saw a study about this. Basically, you just don't want to watch it. According to new data from Nielsen, there are 817,000 different TV programs you can choose from streaming and traditional platforms.
God almighty.
Right. Now, granted, you'd have to have all the streaming platforms.
Sure, which I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do this sometimes, too. I mean, you just click, it's like, wait a minute, there is more channels than anybody could possibly want.
Even if you just have Xfinity, you know, your standard cable, there's like 800 channels there. And sure, some are radio stations and all. Take that out, take out Spanish language in case you only speak English. There's about 700 different just channels, right? But then I realized at the bottom of my screen when I turned it on, it's like, do you want to watch Xfinity? Do you want Disney Plus? Do you want Netflix? Do you want Amazon? I think we have Peacock. I mean, we've got everything. That said, it's weird. I probably only watch the same 3 shows.
Well, that's all right. So that was the other thing I was going to bring up. I feel like entertainment and like food, we end up doing that over and over, right? Like you have like you ever heard the theory about food? If you go to a restaurant you've never been to, you'll try something different.
Right. But if you've been there before, I like this, right?
Right, and you'll get the same thing all the time. So I think TV is the same way. As I'm with you. Like I'll search to a bunch of stuff, and then it's almost like you have to convince yourself to try something new.
And then most of the time, I'm happy with my decision. It's for whatever reason I'm second guessing myself, and it's like it takes no effort to do. Just hit OK, and you can watch the show. And if you don't like it, you can stop watching. But still, like, do I want to invest the time in this? I don't know why we put so much thought into it.
I don't either. And you're right. Talking about different things, just like it's obviously I have Xfinity. But sometimes I forget. And, like, I've seen kids do it, but I do it, too. Like, I'll be at a buddy's house just talking into the remote. He's like, that doesn't do anything.
Right.
Okay.
That's all my kids do.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's so easy. And then the other thing I was going to say is, like, I just assume everybody has DVR now. But still, a lot of people don't.
Yep.
So last weekend, I was watching, or was it 2 weekends ago, watching the Final Four, right? And again, I am not a Duke fan. But they have this piece on Coach K where he's sitting in the gym, and it's not just old Duke players. It's just people involved in basketball saying thank you and what you've done for the game. I mean, there's NBA players that didn't play at Duke that are like, man, when you coached us on this, you showed me a couple things, this and that. So, I mean, literally, my buddy's in the shower. I'm sitting on the couch. Like, I'm almost tearing up. And I'm like, I'm not, like, I don't even like Duke.
Right.
They come back to the set, right? And it's Kenny and Charles Barkley and Ernie Johnson. And Ernie goes, somebody cutting onions in here?
Right.
And they can't talk for 30 seconds. So when he gets out, I'm like, dude, hit the DVR. Let's see that. And he's like, I don't have it. Stop flexing. Like, yep. All right.
My bad.
Stop flexing.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a ton of shows out there. Like we were saying, I mean, any show you think of. Miles, you brought up a great one, Pawn Stars. I used to love that show. I just stopped watching it. But if you asked me, do I randomly want to go to a pawn shop and look around, I'd be like, no.
Storage Wars.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
I don't want, but even like I'll see some of the show and I don't watch these. You see them advertised like, I don't know, Married in 2 Days, Naked and Afraid. I mean, I feel like there's a room and you just write down random words, right? And they go, I came up with Naked and Afraid. Make it a show.
Yeah,
have you ever thought to yourself, like, you know what TV's missing or something I'd really like to see, or just two strangers that are naked in the wilderness to see if they're like, I don't care, but they made a show.
Right. So my big idea is kind of like Naked and Afraid.
Okay.
Except we go to bad neighborhoods or bad cities, and it's just called Clothed and Scared.
Right.
Clothed and Afraid.
Yeah, right. Well, we can't say afraid, Miles. They own that one.
Yeah, come on, man.
So that's why we're clothed and scared.
Yeah, I mean, anything. I mean, even think about something like Planet Earth, all right?
Yeah.
Which was a fascinating documentary, but the sales pitch legitimately is you can be looking at a lot of animals in the ocean. And it's great, but I mean, that's the entirety of it. Like, look at these birds. I don't know anything about these birds. I've never heard of these birds. Honest to God, I have no interest in these birds, but in the 3 minutes that you talked about these birds and their migratory pattern, like I'm riveted. I mean, it's great. You get sucked into anything, even like those dumb gold mining shows. I don't care, but if you're flipping around, if it's at the right scene, it's like, I'll watch this until the commercial break. Like, I know I'll be willing to leave
Gold Rush?
No, not Gold Rush. All right, so Gold Rush may have been the first or one of the first. There must be 3 or 4 different shows that involve gold now. So a commercial came out for one of them.
People were panning after it.
I can't remember the name, but it was like, they made it a big deal, like, Big Papa's coming back. And I'm like, who is this? And it's like this old dude going, my buddy in Alaska called me. He needs help with his gold mine. And, like, I guess it's a big deal that this guy's going there. I'm like, oh, my God. And you're literally just watching guys paying for gold.
Yeah, I will say some of the reality shows, whether it's like jobs like that.
Yeah.
I think for me, the big difference is like when you watch sports, like just somebody that loves sports, right? Like I'm always like, I'd love to be able to do that. Or I'd like to try that. Right? You know what I mean? Like if somebody said, hey, you guys can come down and take batting practice on T-Mobile Field.
Sure.
Do it in a second, right? Somebody said, hey, we're going to fly up and go find gold.
Pan for gold.
Yeah, I'm like, nah. Like I'd say a lot of those shows I watch them and I go, I have no desire to do that.
Yeah, Deadliest Catch.
Right, like I'm weirdly obsessed with watching them do it, but like I have no desire to do it.
No chance.
Yeah, Deadliest Catch is another one. Like there's obviously
but think about the
interaction.
Right. I mean, and it's a decent show. It's not that. But again, the sales pitch is it's about crab fishermen. Just saying, if I'm a TV exec, like, get this guy out of my office. And granted, I missed out on a gold mine if I do that. But just some of these ideas, but they make a whole show. They get seasons, and there it is, man.
Right. I was going to say, I just think Deadliest Catch is weird because, like, a bulk of the show is just watching them pull up a crab pot, see if there's something in it. But I want to say Deadliest Catch as well was like a limited little thing they did on Discovery.
Initially, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just, people liked it so much that they ended up making a whole series out of it.
Blew up. Miles points out like a show like Chasing Bigfoot. The idea being this. If you had found, or you had definitive proof, right? You can believe what you want, but if they had definitive proof one way or another, like, we would know. So the fact that we don't know, it's like, why am I watching this show? Because the whole show, everything's night vision goggles, right? It's like 3 people, and all it's, shh, 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 shh. Do you hear that? Wait. Spin the camera around. And then some guy making his version of a Bigfoot like Maiden Call. And I'm like, why am I watching this?
The only 2 states that have never had a Bigfoot sighting.
Hawaii and...
Hawaii's one of them. Okay.
I'd say...
Nope. It's not?
Nope.
Only 2 states have never had a big... I know Bigfoot's massive in the southeast, like in Arkansas. He's big up here. Right? Harry and the Hendersons were supposed to be in Seattle.
Yes. I'll say Arizona.
Not a bad guess. And you got to remember Flagstaff. It's in the mountains.
Damn it.
How about Kansas?
Utah and Nevada.
Flat desert. Okay.
That's where Bigfoot does
not. Utah's massive.
No trees. I guess there's just no reported sightings there. Nevada I can figure out. I've never been to Utah, so I don't know why they haven't.
Oh, so Utah's like Salt Lake City's only like what, an hour down from.
I'm just saying, like, as far as forests and things, where
sure.
you would think that there was a chance that he could or she could do her thing.
Yeah,
that was a he dog. I've seen his penis.
I think maybe it's just like Nevada or Utah's so Mormon and religious. They're like, we don't lie about Bigfoots. And then Nevada,
just UFOs.
Nevada, everybody's just partying or gambling or just baking in the sun. It's like, what?
Or looking for work.
Bigfoot would die out here, man. God, Miles, how do you know that?
I saw it today on the internet.
So I was like, that's a fun fact.
It is.
I was like, what?
Huh.
Why in the hell do you know that? All right, so this story here is about an actress that's going to get naked on her new show, right? Maurice Williams, which I don't really know her, but who really cares, right? But she's using it as a political statement. Basically, here's the main thing: is there's going to be an FX miniseries called Pistol about the Sex Pistols.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought that was the cooler part about this whole story.
Sure.
Right. So, what was I going to say? She plays Pamela Rook, also known as Jordan. She was a model and actress who helped create the London punk look.
Well, Sid and Nancy was a pretty popular movie when it came out.
It was, sure.
Yeah, I've seen that. I like this actress. She was like, well, I was hesitant about doing the topless scene. I didn't think it was necessary, but it was a political statement. The woman who actually did it, her whole ethos was turning the male gaze on itself, and it was overtly sexual in a way that made other people feel ashamed. If I take my top off, I want other people to feel uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, you got to figure too. If you're the woman that created that whole look and punk scene, like you probably have some strong views.
I'm guessing so.
Well, look, this still happens today, right? There's a guy I love on the internet, and he made a video about how dudes can be creepy with women at like house parties and stuff, and trying to get them. And people are like, why is he promoting this? Like he's turning the mirror on the creepy dudes at the party who are just trying to pour.
He's not promoting.
Who are just trying to get women drunk.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, right. He's not promoting it at all. It's kind of his comedy.
By the way, Ted, someone came up with a good name, I believe, for your show where you just drop people off in a bad neighborhood.
Oh, Clothed and Scared?
Clothed and Scared. Some people have Clothed and Concerned. But someone else says, I think a good name for Ted's show would be Dressed and Stressed.
It is. But we're really emphasizing the fact that we are nowhere near naked. We are two adult men, and we are scared.
We are scared. Every episode filmed in Southeast D.C.
Yeah, we might have come up with this idea one day during the pandemic. There was like a couple months where you could actually like go to a bar, and we were somewhere in Pioneer Square. And we were like, somebody was like, I don't want to go out there. There's nobody out there. I'm kind of scared. I was like, get your clothes. They're naked and afraid. They're just two adult men that should be able to protect themselves, and we can't because we're scared.
And clothed.
And clothed, right. We're ashamed to be naked.
Right. Naked and ashamed.
Call that the 24-hour fitness locker room.
Nobody was ashamed in there, Miles. People loved being naked.
They were proud.
Oh, all right. Obviously, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Right. So you're not going to find many shocking moments at an award show that are bigger than that. I did see today on TMZ that Chris Rock's brother has challenged Will Smith to a celebrity boxing match.
Really?
Which, in theory, but it's like, man, he trained pretty hard to be Ali.
Right.
Like, that's a tall task you're biting off there.
But also, he's not Chris Rock. He's Chris Rock's brother.
He is.
I think that's part of the reason he's like, oh, no, I'm down. Even though I got my ass beat. Because I'm Chris Rock's brother.
That's kind of like growing up. If you beat up somebody's brother, then their older brother will come to beat you up later.
I discovered that.
Yes.
I discovered that. My brother never had my back on that, but I know some other people whose older brothers would show.
Had their back.
Yeah, I think sometimes, too, with older brothers, like, they get beat on you at will. But if somebody else
does it. Yeah.
Right. It's like making fun of your friends. Or
I remember watching a buddy of mine when I think we were in 5th grade or something, but his older brother, who was now in 7th grade, was constantly antagonizing his brother. I mean, would just beat them. Anyway, we're playing one day, and somebody else started beating his brother's ass. And his brother came flying out of the house, and I mean, whipped this kid bad. And as a kid, it just blew my mind, because I'm like, I always thought your brother hated you. And my buddy's like, I did too. I had no idea, but I remember him saying, nobody touches my brother. Like, hearing these words, I'm like, you do it every day. I mean, like, you beat the pit, but it finally made sense later. But I could not believe that this dude who was always the bane of my buddy's existence, came outside and whipped this kid's ass. Bad.
Yeah, and I have a couple male cousins. We're all within like 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
So, I mean, growing up, like, we would play sports, same thing. We would always rough each other up. But if the neighbor kid did anything to one of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like all three of us would turn on him and be like, no, you can't. It's kind of like making fun of somebody's wife.
Oh, sure.
Right? Like, I'm not going to say we've all done it. I know I've done it, but they're just kind of making fun of their wife. And then I kind of jumped in like, yeah, man, you're right. Like, and then they shot me that look. My other buddy's like, stop.
Don't
like,
get in this.
I thought we were all jumping in on how annoying she is.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought she was a bitch for years.
Right. I'm just glad we're getting it out in the open.
And another thing.
Right. Let me guess. She's back in the backyard doing nothing again. Anyhow, so this is... That is so close to a true story. It's ridiculous. Right. So these are some of the top, like, weird, embarrassing, or shocking celebrity moments that happened live on TV. You know what didn't make this list that we all remember was Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, ripping up the picture of the Pope.
Correct. Now, she never really recovered from that. It was a massive deal. I remember, like, because, you know, we always watch SNL growing up. It was a massive deal. But you turn out, if you look at when she did that, and she's talking about kids being molested, like, yeah, the Catholic Church had a lot to do with that.
They did. That was the exact point she was making. But no one's trying to hear it at the time, right?
Right.
So, you think she's still like, I ain't going to hear to say I told you so.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I'm the bad bird. Okay.
Kristen Stewart, she dropped an F-bomb on SNL. That was back in 2017.
But that was not one of those things where she's been banned for life or anything, compared to a cast member who did it and never saw the light of day again.
Correct.
I mean, did she do it on purpose?
I don't think
no.
Okay.
She just
I think maybe
just
that's the
slipped
difference.
out.
That's the difference.
Like, again, these are weird, embarrassing, or shocking moments. When Whoopi Goldberg farted on The View in 2011.
That's not weird. Her name is Whoopi. What did you expect? I bought a Whoopi cushion. It sounds like a fart.
Wait, did she fart on purpose or Wendy Williams style?
No, I think it's one of those. And Whoopi admitted it, but yeah, she just ripped one.
Well, that's how she got her name. She admits that's how she got her name.
Oh, really?
That she's got, yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that was always the thing we found out about Larry King Live. Turns out he was ripping farts the whole time.
All the time. Well, you know, finally one was audible, and the world kind of caught on to what was going on. But when you talk to former guests, some of the former guests were like, oh, no. I mean, when you're doing, it's Larry King, he's doing an interview, so it's significant. You're not going to call him out just based on the nature of the show. But they're like, oh, yeah, you know, 3 or 4 would slip during the course of the interview. But it's Larry King. They're like, you let him go. You know what I mean?
Until I got all those wives. Fart for me, Larry.
My pleasure.
They say when Jennifer Lawrence tripped up the stairs on her way to accept her 2013 Oscar for Best Actress.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of par for the course for her. I think the way she handled herself,
sure,
you could tell that she wasn't
if
too
it were
embarrassed.
Meryl Streep, people
That's
would,
different. With her, she laughs it off.
It was funny, though.
Yeah, and that was kind of her thing for a while, right? She was like the beautiful actress that did
Fun.
this. That was kind of crazy.
Sure. So her falling, like if anyone's going to fall up the stairs, like she's the perfect person.
And she would be the person like, I shouldn't have that last martini.
Yeah,
I told
exactly.
you.
Yeah, and falling up the stairs almost, you feel dumber than falling down the stairs.
You do.
But it doesn't hurt as much.
No. It just looks worse.
I'll take that any day.
Doja Cat. She had to run from the bathroom to the stage to accept a Grammy this year.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, so she won a Grammy, but she's in the bathroom. And then had to, like, sprint out.
Didn't somebody else recently? There was some dude.
Somebody left somebody hanging at an award ceremony, and they're like...
But like, it was a significant award. I can't remember what it was for, but the dude, like they...
It was Michael Keaton.
That's what it was, right? Because like this special award, whatever, goes to Michael Keaton, and the crowd's like going crazy. And then, oh, that's right, because Salma Hayek, I think, was doing it. And she's like, you got to be kidding me. Like, she says this to the mic, like he's not here. And then you kind of see him running up there, and he's just like, hey, man, I was in the bath. My bad. Sorry.
Back in 2014, Nicki Minaj had a wardrobe malfunction at the MTV Music Awards. Had to hold her dress together with her hand the entire time. And then Madonna fell at the 2015 Brit Awards. Good. Again, embarrassing for Madonna, for the bulk of the world. Hilarious.
Yeah, great.
Right.
Thank you, Ted.
Just a quick reminder, your Sounders, what's it say, 6 p.m., Fox Sports 1 taking on NYFC. They win this one, or even the give of goal. Either way, they get through. They're going to be in the finals of the CONCACAF Champions League. So it's kind of a big match.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. An Oklahoma man was caught stealing an Audi and said that he was a U.S. Marshal, and everything was mighty okay. Meanwhile, a California man tried to steal a catalytic converter, and he enjoyed his last day. Texas woman breaks their door down at a Mercedes dealership and leaves with a brand new car. Italian doctors removed an object from a man's rectum that went up way, way, way too far. And a woman gets paid $10,000 a pop to name kids for couples. It is time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Our top story, we go to Italy, where doctors had to get a little creative. It's not uncommon for people to come in that need assistance removing things that they've placed where the sun don't shine, but this one takes the cake. They established that the object was not removable by hand, but the good news was that he felt relatively fine other than some mild discomfort. They were finally able to get it out after they resorted to a guide wire lasso to remove the 2-foot sex toy from his rectum.
Jesus. It was only 23 inches.
Ah, fair enough. I did
Come on, you added an inch.
My bad. I'm bad news, man.
How?
2 feet. Why does anybody need that?
I don't know. And then to lose it in there.
Right.
There's so much of it. You feel like some could be left hanging out. Right. You know what I mean? Just, you got the whole thing up there.
But you look at it, it's like, okay, so we're getting a little bit of an anatomy lesson here as to where things fit.
Damn.
It's like he's poking the bottom of his lung.
I know.
In other news, a man in Oklahoma was arrested for attempting to steal a car, but he's got a good reason. He walked into the local Audi dealership and declared that he was a U.S. Marshal and was going to seize one of their floor models that he was told was not ready to be driven. He managed to get the keys and get behind the wheel, but abandoned his mission as soon as employees blocked his exit. He was later tracked down by authorities, whom he told the same thing, that he was appointed as a U.S. Marshal by former President Donald Trump. His excuse didn't fly, and he was arrested.
I can't believe no one bought that.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Did you expect people to say, oh, okay. That makes sense.
Right. And no, never mind. That was the DEA agent. At least the DEA agent had a concealed carry permit. This guy had no idea on him whatsoever.
Yeah, nothing.
Way to go. Well done there, Captain.
But to be fair, if I'm going to impersonate a law enforcement officer, am I going to try to get a discount at Wendy's or get a new Audi? I'm going for the Audi.
Yeah.
So at least this guy, I'm like, all right, big ticket item.
Right. Hey, if you're going to go big, go big.
That's it.
Similarly, in Houston, a woman was tracked down by officers after unknowingly smiling for the camera. She was identified after she had used a car battery and a drive shaft in order to bust a hole in the sheetrock of a local dealership. She managed to wriggle herself into the showroom, where she was luckily a camera positioned right onto her face, and she vandalized several cars inside. She was found and arrested.
They thought that she was multiple people.
Right.
Based on the damage that she did and how she opened that door.
Yeah.
And how strong she was. And then when she did it inside, they thought it was like 4 or 5 people. Really?
She just
Not
hulked her
one
way
woman.
through.
Jesus.
Did you see the video of her coming through?
Yes.
It's like something straight out of a Bugs Bunny cartoon, that she just bashes this hole open, her little head pokes out, she looks either way, and then squeezes her way out of there.
Jesus.
It's nuts.
Strong.
Oh, man, a woman in New York is making headlines for her interesting line of work. She tells how she made upwards of $150,000 in 2020 helping couples name their baby. She's an avid writer and storyteller, as well as adept at branding and marketing, and has used those skills to help parents who pay anywhere from $1,500 to $10,000 for her services.
The thing is, people were getting mad at her, and I'm like, why are you? If you offered me $10,000 to come up with a name for your kid, I'm taking the money.
Right.
I'm angry at the parents. Like, look, man, it's not a big ask.
I'm not cleaning them out if I just say, hey, I'll do this, and then you pay me the $10,000.
Yeah.
But that is it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Men's Room Happy Hour is up next exclusively on the Odyssey app. We'll see you there.
Yes, indeed. In the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for about 180 seconds, give or take. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.